Good afternoon, everyone. Fifth graders, you awake here? For the guests who don't know who I am, I'm Craig Renner, the elementary principal, not just some random guy who walked in off the streets of Rio. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you here, and this certainly is a special occasion this afternoon. First of all, to the fifth graders, how proud I am of them completing the DARE program. So my round of applause to you. I know since the beginning of the year, Chief Becker has been coming here every Thursday, has been, and teaching the lessons of the DARE program. And in that time, he certainly establishes positive relationships with the kids within the classroom, and you can also see him outside at recess. He does like to play outside at recess. But also while developing those relationships, just kind of working with the kids on how to avoid the negative influences they'll face in life, while also encouraging them to focus on their strengths and their potentials. We're very lucky to have Chief Becker as part of our Rio Elementary family, and we should thank him for all of his efforts. And now, at this time, I'm going to turn the program over to him.
Well, I too would like to welcome everyone here. It's nice to see so many faces, because obviously you guys are the ones that are going to make the difference in the fifth graders' lives as they grow up, are going to be the ones that have the biggest influence on them. And I usually start out by letting all the fifth graders know something. Does everybody think they passed? Well, if you're sitting down in a chair and you have a DARE t-shirt on, you passed. That's good for all of you to know. But the first thing I always do is I always have a guest speaker come and speak with the audience and you as the fifth graders. So this year I was sitting down probably about a month ago trying to decide who I should ask for a guest speaker. And I guess I really didn't have to go back through my old files, but I started thinking of who I could select. And I located an officer who worked for Rio from 2004 to 2006. Prior to that, he was a part-time officer with the Dells. And then when he left in 2006, he got hired by the Columbia County Sheriff's Office. And last year, he was promoted to Detective Sergeant. And one of the reasons I thought that I should bring him here to talk to the fifth graders is even when you start out in Rio, guess what? You can do big things. You can get promoted, you can get better, everything else. So that's why I decided to have the guest speaker this year, Detective Corey Miller from the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, and I'll introduce him now.
All right, thank you, Chief Becker. As Chief Becker said, my name is Corey Miller. I'm a detective with the Sheriff's Office. And when Jeff asked me to speak to you guys, I thought about some things I want to talk about. I wasn't sure. We could talk about sports, we could talk about school, we could talk about being a cop and what that's all about. But then I thought back, you know what, I have a 10-year-old and he's in 5th grade. And the biggest thing I like to talk to my son about is choices. Okay? Everybody in this room makes choices every day, including you guys. And some people I see, grandmas, grandpas, they've made thousands and probably millions of choices. Okay? But there are some things, there are some choices that everybody in this room makes, and you don't even know, you don't even think about it. And it has to do with your body. If you think about it, everybody breathes, right? Everybody takes a breath. They average about 16 per minute. Okay? That equals about 8.5 million in 1 year. So think about that, 8.5 million. You may have heard parents and everybody talking about the $1.5 billion Powerball. Well, that's 8.4 million. That's nothing compared to that. I understand we're about 10 years old here in 5th grade. If you add all that up, at this point in your life, you've taken 84 million breaths. And again, that $1.5 million Powerball, or $1 billion Powerball, again, 84 million is nothing even close to that. Okay, so everybody agrees. It's something you don't think about, it's something your brain automatically does. What else do you do that your body does that you don't think about? Well, your eyes blink, right? What's that? You walk, you have to think about walking though, right? You have to say, I'm going to take steps forward, or steps backward, or steps right, and steps left, or steps left, right? Those are all choices though that you make. But everybody blinks, and they average 15 to 20 times a minute, equals about 10.5 million per year. The fifth grade class here, about 10 years old, would have blinked 105 million times in your lifetime so far. Okay, again, big number, but nowhere close to 1.5 billion. And last, and maybe the most important, is your heartbeat, right? Everybody's heart has to beat, everybody has to breathe, everybody has to blink, but your heart is your biggest muscle in your body, okay? Your heartbeat on average about 80 a minute, equals about 42 million in 1 year. At about 10 years old, that equals 420 million heartbeats, okay? So those are things that you don't really have to think about. That's something you automatically do, your body just does it for you. What about some other things, some choices that you actually make? Like this morning, everybody had to wake up. What time to wake up? That's sometimes a choice. Sometimes involuntary. Mom and dad have to wake you up, and I get that. Some other choices. What do you have for breakfast today? That's a choice you have to make. We're going to have cereal, we're going to have toast, French toast, pancakes, corn on the cob, whatever you want, right? What are you going to wear for school? Again, that's a choice that maybe you were maybe or maybe not made, but something you had to make a choice of today. How about for school? You have to choose what you want your answer to be on a certain test question, right? Those are choices that you have to make yourself and your individual person. But then you're going to get older, and we all do, and in about 6 years, there's going to be a big time that all of the parents in the room, including myself, are dreading, and that means you're going to be close to getting your driver's license, okay? And then some big choices you have to make there is, what kind of car do you want? Do you want a Ford Mustang? Do you want a Chevy Silverado? Do you want what kind of car do you want? Oh, there you go. A lot of choices to make. So you get your car, you're now 16 years old, and you have a car. You'll get a lot more choices now. How fast are you going to drive? Are you going to have your seatbelt on? What type of friends are you going to hang around with? Those type of things. And again, all choices that are upcoming in your life are extremely important, okay? Now I tell my son with every choice there's always a consequence, and that's either good or it's a bad consequence. Okay, so looking back at some of the things, like what time did you wake up today? If you made a bad choice, and I don't know what time school starts, I'll say it's 8 o'clock here. If you wake up at 7:59 p.m., is that a good choice or a bad choice? It's probably bad, right? So you're going to be late to school. How about answers on a test? If you make the bad choice and you answered it incorrectly, you answered it wrong, would that be a good or a bad choice? Bad choice. How about older, when you now have your car and you're driving around, are you going to put your seatbelt on or not? If I put my seatbelt on, is that a good choice or a bad choice? Good choice, yeah, absolutely. Those choices and consequences will continue throughout your entire life, okay? There's going to be some difficult choices. You might have someone that wants you to smoke a cigarette. Is that a good choice or a bad choice? Bad choice. How about drinking alcohol and then driving a vehicle? Is that a good choice or a bad choice? Bad choice. And how about drugs? So if someone wants you to use drugs, is that a good choice or a bad choice? Bad choice. Okay, very good. Again, every choice has their own consequence, and it's up to you to make those good choices. Okay? Now, I do have a little demonstration, but I need a volunteer. And Chief Becker, would you come up here and help me, please? And bring a chair with you. This is a surprise, and I look surprised. Jeff does too. All right, so this was for the kids. So Jeff, I'm going to have you sit there facing me. Are you ready? Okay. So, I'm going to put this blindfold on here, Jeff. I'm sorry, Chief Becker. I did watch this before. All right, Chief, can you see? No. Okay, very good. Now I'm going to pull something else out of my pocket. That's okay. Nobody's in danger. But don't say what it is, because again, Chief Becker doesn't know what this is. Okay? I'm going to just show the kids. Don't say what it is, though. Okay? Okay, so we all see what that is, right? Yeah. Chief Becker has no idea what's going on right now. So now I have a choice to make. Okay, do I want to use this or do I not? Is it a good choice or a bad choice? And let me. That's the response I thought I was going to get. But let's think about it though for a minute. If I use this, is this going to hurt Chief Becker? It's going to hurt. No. Is it going to hurt his feelings? It could, but Jeff and I have been friends for a long time. I keep calling him Jeff because we are good friends. So I don't think it's going to hurt his feelings, right? Can he arrest me? No, I don't think he can arrest me again, sir. I don't see a criminal element here, okay? So again, good choice or bad choice? Good choice? Yeah! All right, I already count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Chief. Thanks for inviting me. I bet he won't ask me again. Thank you.
Well, I must say that was a first for me, especially at a DARE graduation, because I should have known better than to invite Corey to have to do that to me. No, I'm kidding all aside. The next part of our program that we have is the DARE letters. And the reason we have them write a letter to the parents is we used to just have them write a report, and they kind of, oh, another report, this. So someone before me decided, why don't we have them write a letter to their parents or their guardians and let them know what they've learned in DARE, but also what they want to do in life and how they're going to remain drug-free or not fall for influences after. And the reason I haven't sent it home to you as parents, hopefully you can tuck it away somewhere, and hopefully it's more than a year down the road. Hopefully you never have to pull it out, but just in case if you're having some problems, I'd say go pull out that DARE letter and make them read what they wrote in 5th grade, and hopefully it might change their ideas and they can remember a few of the things that they learned in DARE. Unfortunately, I have heard them all, and some of them were scared to get up here and read, but we don't have time to listen to them all, so we only get to listen to 6. But when you're all done, on your way out on the wall, they're all posted out on the wall so you can look at everyone's. Thank you.
Dear Mom and Dad, since the beginning of the school year, Chief Becker came to the 5th grade classes and taught us a lot about DARE and drugs. DARE stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. I learned a lot of facts in DARE class. Here are some facts that I learned. Smoking causes yellow teeth because if you smoke a lot, you'll get yellow teeth. Smoking can ruin your life. Another important fact is that smoking causes lung cancer and gum disease. One other fact is that cigarettes contain nicotine. Cigarettes contain nicotine, that is why you get addicted to cigarettes when you smoke. Another fact that I learned is there are more than 200 known chemicals are in cigarettes. The last important fact is mixing alcohol with medicine is very dangerous. And my goal in life is to be on the girls varsity basketball team and to make it to Badger basketball team too. I need to stay drug-free to play because they'll kick me off the team and I won't be able to play. Also, I'll be living a bad life if I took drugs. I promise you, Mom and Dad, that I'll stay drug-free so I don't have the risk of dying and that I can live a happy life. From Emma.
Dear Mom and Dad, Chief Becker has come every Thursday for about 20 weeks. I learned that DARE means drug abuse, resistance, education, and a lot more. I've had fun doing this. Here are some facts I learned in class. Caffeine is a drug found in coffee and soda. It isn't an extremely bad drug, but it is still a drug. Drinking a lot of alcohol can cause people to have accidents. You shouldn't drive when you are intoxicated. Drugs can affect every organ in the body. That is why it is a bad idea to start doing them. Cigarettes have 200 known chemicals in them. It is a bad idea to start smoking. Nicotine causes addiction. It is in cigarettes. As you can see, I learned a lot. The goal I have for my life is to become a veterinarian. If I started smoking and doing drugs, I could get the animals more sick than they already are and maybe end up killing them. Plus, if I got caught, I would most likely get fired. I'd rather lead a healthy life, not a horrible one. I promise not to smoke or do drugs. I want to be a role model for younger kids who look up to me. I don't want to smell like smoke or hurt anyone if I do drugs, so I won't start, and I hope you don't either. Love, Ashley.
Dear Mom and Dad, this past semester, Chief Becker came to our classroom every Thursday and taught us DARE. DARE stands for D for drugs, A for abuse, R for resistance, and E for education. I learned a lot of facts to help me in life. Some of these include alcohol weakens the heart muscle and reduces the amount of blood pumped to and from the heart. Nicotine in cigarettes and chewing tobacco reduces the amount of blood that flows to the brain, and nicotine is a powerful substance. That is why it is addicting when you smoke. My goal in life is to become a college basketball player for Wisconsin. I need to stay drug-free because it is against the rules to use drugs as an athlete. It will harm my health. I may become addicted, and I don't want to be a poor role model for younger kids. I hope to be an athlete that shows other athletes who don't need drugs to be good. Mom and Dad, I promise not to use drugs and alcohol and to be someone you can be proud of. I also promise not to hang out with people that are bad influences. Your daughter, Morgan.
Dear Dad, Chief Becker comes in on Thursdays and teaches us a lot about DARE and making good choices. The things we learned in DARE class are about drugs and the 5 W's. In DARE class, we learned that each serving of alcohol, like beer, vodka, and wine, all have the same amount of alcohol per serving. Did you know that caffeine is a drug? Drugs can affect almost every organ in your body, and you could die because of drugs. Cigarettes have over 200 known chemicals in them. If you smoke, you should look on the side of the box, and you will see the Surgeon General's warning, and it will say that cigarettes are bad for you, and he gives you a warning. My goal is to become a motorcycle racer. I want to compete in races and will need to focus so I don't wipe out. My promise to you is to not do drugs and not hurt or flip out on anybody so I can reach my goal. Love, your son, Preston.
Dear Mom and Dad, every Thursday this year, Becker came into the 5th grade classrooms and taught us a class called DARE. That stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. In DARE, Chief Becker taught us about how to respond to drugs if they are offered to you. He also taught us about bullying, how to respond to it, and how not to respond. Here are some facts I learned in DARE. I learned that alcohol slows down the brain and body. Some effects may include loss of coordination, poor judgment, memory loss, loss of self-control, and slow reflexes. Some effects of chewing tobacco are mouth cancer and tooth loss. Smoking can also dry your skin and cause wrinkles, and alcohol is illegal for people under 21. I won't do drugs because I know it is very bad for my health. I need to stay drug-free if I want to play basketball because they will not let me play. I wouldn't be able to play properly, and I probably will not even be able to get into play. I promise that I will never do drugs because it is unhealthy for me and everyone who is near me. Bill Riley.
Dear Mom and Dad, Officer Becker came to our class every Thursday to teach us about DARE, responding to different situations, and what alcohol and drugs can do to you. DARE is an acronym for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. You can use the DARE decision-making model to help you with difficult situations. By defining, you summarize what is happening in the situation. When you assess, you think about what choices you have to pick from. And when you respond and evaluate, you pick one of the choices from when you assess, and then you evaluate your choice by deciding if it is a good choice or not. He also spoke about the use of alcohol, drugs, and tobacco. He said that there are more than 200 known chemicals in tobacco that go into your body whenever you smoke or chew it. It can also cause mouth cancer, tooth loss, dry skin, and wrinkles. Every year there are more than 400,000 deaths caused by smoking in America. When you drink alcohol, it slows your brain and body down, causing reaction time to be slower. Some effects of alcohol can include memory loss, slower reflexes, bad judgment, and loss of coordination. Many car accidents are caused by drinking alcohol. There are about 75,000 alcohol-related deaths each year. When you use drugs, it really just puts your life down the gutter. You can get addicted by just using them once. Some drugs aren't as bad as others, but some can kill you instantly. Using drugs can push you away from your family, your friends, and get you fired from many jobs. There are no benefits in using drugs. They are a waste of time, your life, and your money. If you're offered drugs, you say no and walk away. That way the dealer will know that you do not want drugs, and they will not ask you again. Some may tell you that drugs help you in various ways, but do not trust them. No matter what they say, drugs are drugs, and they're hoping you will get addicted so you will keep buying from them. My goal in life is to live a long, happy, drug-free life. You should not take drugs because they can kill you, you can hurt others, you can hurt yourself, and you can become jobless from them. So my promise to you is that I will never smoke or do drugs, but I know what they can do to me. Smoking can give you cancer, and drugs can just plain ruin my life. Love your daughter, Jeffrey.
I will choose
want to do drugs, I won't give in.
In my life.
And I'm gonna win.
Don't push me, don't press me,
Don't call me friend when
all you want to do is drag me down.
it's time for this to end. Check your attitude at the door.
I do not want to score.
I only want to win in this drug war.
Mr. Vetter for letting me come into the school to see the 5th graders. I need to thank Mrs. Fletcher and Mrs. Carney for coming into 5th grade because I found out that sometimes it can be hard to teach 5th graders for 1 hour, let alone the whole day. So it could be tough, or it is tough some days. I need to thank Mrs. Muscovich for the job she did with the kids singing. That always amazes me how fast they learn that every year. I also need to thank my dear role models, but you guys can wait a minute. The 6 individuals sitting over in the front. Every year we go and pick some students to come over and they get to sit in front of the 5th graders, and the 5th graders get to actually grill them and ask them any question they want. And the questions usually range from, do you get locked in the locker in 6th grade, to have you been offered drugs or alcohol in the high school? So it's a good opportunity for the 5th graders to find out what it's going to be like over in the middle school and high school. So if you guys want to stand up, and starting from closest to me, Zach Valencia, James McGuire, Jacob Black, Trevor Carney, Amber Blazik, and Olivia Arndt. Thank you guys. And then last, I should probably thank the 5th graders, because I truly do enjoy coming every Thursday. I'll still stop in sometimes. I will, and don't worry, I haven't forgot about the Fatal Vision goggles either. We'll still get to see those. I know that was one thing that you guys were worried about. But just for 5th graders, what you need to remember is what we've all learned in DARE. We've talked about tobacco, we've talked about alcohol, we've talked about drugs, we've talked about bullying, we've talked about peer pressure being good and bad. I showed you guys the DARE decision-making model so you can use that. So just remember that those things are all in your toolbox, and if you need them, remember to use them. And remember that all of us are here for you to help you make the right decisions so that all of you guys can graduate high school, move on, and be successful. You can handle that? I know you guys can, you just have to do the right things. So then, as I was thinking the last couple of weeks what I was going to say up here, every year I have to decide what I want to say to the parents. And one parent asked me probably about a month ago, Jeff, how can we make sure our kids don't do drugs? And I said, well, that might take me a while to answer that. So at that point in time I thought I'm going to do a little bit of research on the internet, and one of the things that I found that was interesting to me, or I thought I would like to share with you guys, it comes from the New Hampshire government website, and it's called 7 Ways to Protect Your Child from Drugs. The first one is talk often with your kids. Kids who learn a lot about the risks of alcohol and other drugs from their parents are up to 50% less likely to use them. Have regular discussions from an early age. Let them know about drugs and alcohol and the risks involved with them. Also, teach them how to turn them down because they are going to be offered them. We need to think about that. We all hope they don't, but realistically, they are going to be offered them. Be clear about your expectations. In fact, your child you can build trust with your child having clear and consistent rules. Tell them it's not okay to drink or do drugs. Tell them it's against the law. Tell them doing drugs and drinking when you're a teen makes you more likely to become addicted and can lead to desperate measures, including committing crimes. And the other thing is kids who drink alcohol often lead to other types of drugs after alcohol use. Be a role model. Set good examples for your kids on what you do in your daily life. Also be involved in your kids' lives. Listen to them, ask them questions. When your child seems upset or seems like they're having problems, ask them what's going on. Make sure that they have good friends and that when they're hanging out with their friends, they have proper supervision. Establish rules. Build a trusting relationship with them and follow through with consequences. Hold them responsible. And the last one, encourage your child to work hard in school. Kids who perform well in school are less likely to become involved with alcohol and drugs. Coach your child on effective ways to ask for help. I guess I wasn't right. I do have one more. And lastly, support your child's involvement in activities such as community service, sports, art, drama, and music. That's what it said, and I just noticed this from me working in the community and seeing other communities. If we as parents in a school district can stand behind our kids and help them, they will make the right decisions. They are going to make some bad decisions, but when they do, we have to support them and set them in the right direction so they don't continue down that path. Did you guys all hear that and understand that? All right. I'm not going to keep us here forever, so that's all I have. How about some graduation diplomas?
Graduation certificates for the 5th graders. And so at this point, he will present those. My front row can stand up, please. Brendan Soderberg. Preston Dyer. Kira Wilski. Robbie Starker. Cameron Haley. Dominic Holstein. Brett Engelmeyer. Now if the back row could stand up, please. Ashley Laufenberg. Annie Bratz. Brett Sell. Jesse Fox. Draven Hack. Peyton Pope. Ashton Schultz. Todd Bateson.
Buck Carroll. Elise Meyer Johnson. Caden Smith. Connor Richardson. Braden Moen. Riley Landsberg. Raiden Rouse. Okay, back row, please stand up. Emily Logging. Morgan Ryerson. Preston Pope. Gavin Schrader. Emma Freeman. Waylon Bermania. Larson Roloff. Tyson Prochnow. Okay, before we finish up here, on behalf of Mrs. Fletcher and myself, we would just like to thank Chief Becker for all that he does for not just the fifth graders, but for our school and for our community. And if you've been here before, you've heard the same story, but I just think we are so lucky. I've heard over the years how so many other communities no longer have DARE. A lot of schools and communities that are bigger than we are no longer have DARE. And I think we're pretty fortunate that we have continued this. And the one thing that I like about our community and about Chief Becker is the involvement that he and his family play and do in our community. You know, we don't just see him here, or we don't just see him in the police vehicle or down at the police station. You see him all over, whether it's during his business hours or outside of his work hours. You see him at ball games, you see him downtown, you see him all over. And I think that is so good because the students not only see him as this law enforcement figure, but they see him as a figure in our community and someone that they can trust and someone they can talk to and someone that they feel comfortable with. And I think it's been really awesome how he has just put himself out there for us. You can go to just about any ball game, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, volleyball. He and his family are there, and they're just there on their own time, and they're participating in the community. And I think we are so fortunate to have that. because I think you don't see that in bigger communities. And you don't even see that in other communities because a lot of them don't even have their own police officers anymore. So I think we really need to give Chief Becker and his staff a huge round of applause for all the things they've done. So on behalf of the fifth graders, we would like to give Chief Becker some gratitude from us, and we have a card and a gift certificate for him for all of his time and effort that he puts in for us. So thank you.
I'll remember. Yes. It's because they're not made out of paper. So that they'll last a while?
What is it made out of?
That's a good question. I'll find out and I'll report back to you next week. All right, well, I want to thank everybody for coming once again. Congratulations to the fifth graders. It has been truly enjoyable. And when you guys leave, take a look at the day reports, and also there are some refreshments and things out in the hallway. Thank you all very much.